Yeah, me
do
too.
you predict
Oh.
if she's going to be a big bad or like,
I think she,
No, I don't
yeah,
I
think
think she
so.
will be. I think
think
she'll be a
so?
secret big bad,
I
or it'll be a red herring.
It
I
might
think she's a
be.
red herring.
Because
Yeah,
I
look what they
think.
did the first season with
yeah.
yeah, and even with oh my
Because
God, my brain.
her being like the actual big bad would be a twist, or I don't know, because it reminds me of What Lies Beneath with Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford, where the last thing I expected watching that movie was for Harrison Ford. Oh, spoiler alert, I guess, for
Uh,
What Lies Beneath was
Spoilers
for
to a fucking like 20-year
it's
old
yeah,
movie.
it's
No.
some people get mad. You know what happens. But I
I
was not
know.
expecting Harrison Ford to be the bad guy. So if they were able to pull off that kind of a surprise with her, even as we're
well,
talking about
they
it right
pulled it
now.
off in the last two seasons of this show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, you could.
It just oh
What were you gonna say, Erica, though? You were
oh
saying that
yeah.
that's
It reminded you of
they did the red
with
herring thing for season one.
Um,
Like
like
who are
even
you
with
referring to?
I can't even I look, I have to do a rewatch, but the
uh
murderer, Steve Martin's girlfriend.
Oh, Amy Ryan?
Thank you.
oh yeah.
The cello player. Like, I know like they kind of like pushed us through it and then they started going towards funny and going towards this and that.
Jan.
Yeah.
Jan, thank you.
But
Yeah.
I'm like they're really good at twisting and turning and getting you like
Mm-hmm.
to think it's this person and that person and and Tina Fey's character looked like it was like
Sting very
who.
briefly.
Yeah.
Is that in the first season?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is. I
I
was like,
have
wait a second.
I have to do my rewatch. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
I'm in the middle of Outlander right now and I'm just
No, I
Nice.
just I just did my rewatch so I could type up all the notes and send it to you guys so that
hmm
we could all do our rewatches with note taking. See, listeners, see how much goes into this?
I
It's like
know.
it's a process, and Jay's got work to do. So,
Yep.
True.
but no, so yeah,
Ugh.
I think that if it were to be Meryl Streep, it would be too obvious. And then they
Mhm.
want you to think it's too obvious. So then they want
Mhm.
you to actually suspect her. So then she's going to
Yeah,
be, my prediction, in the 11th hour, the big red herring, because everyone's going to be like, no, it's got to be her.
I could see that.
I
That's what
can
I
see
think is
that
going to
too.
happen. But I don't think it's going to be her. I just have a feeling
hmm
they're going to go a different
Let's.
direction.
Oh, I can't wait.
I know.
I want to know all the things, and I
I
want them
think
to
that
release a full trailer so we can
Yeah,
dissect
I
it
want that. I
more.
want that bad. I
So,
think that do you guys have predictions about who the her is that Steve Martin is yelling at about? I have, well, yeah, what do
Mm.
you guys think?
I
well, if
mean,
it mm,
yeah. Go ahead, Erica.
no, I mean, I'm thinking about Paul Rudd and he's younger-ish.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I don't think he would have had any connection to Selena's character or even his
Possible.
daughter. I don't know. I'm
I've
not.
I've heard a lot of people think that it means Paul Rudd and oh, sorry, his name is Ben. Ben
Yeah,
and Mabel are like
Mabel.
having
Yeah.
an affair, not an affair, but like they're having a thing. I don't
Mhm.
think that
Yeah.
that's the direction they're going in. I would be very
No.
surprised
I
if
feel like
the
we've had a lot
producers,
of Mabel's like relationships have been kind of
Yeah.
brought
yeah,
in and
I
out for the
would
last few seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
would love to see Mabel not attached to someone romantically for a season and have that not be her like story. I want to see maybe
Yep.
something like that for Oliver. I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
Oliver getting a little something something.
Or like Steve
hmm
Martin's ex. What were they married or just together?
No, they were just I don't think
They
they
were
were
just
married.
together. His ex girlfriends, maybe Paul Rudd has been dating her or something. Like that
hmm
was one of the things that popped into my head. But I
Mm.
don't know. I just
It
feel like
has to
it's
be
not going to
somebody
be
special to
obvious.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be
And
surprised if they made them Paul Rudd and Selena Gomez an item because I think that they worked so hard on being so progressive that if they were to go
yeah.
like a much older man,
Uh-huh.
that because I know people say Paul Rudd hasn't aged, but I see that
He
he's
is
aged,
much
He
y'all.
older
has.
than
He's
Selena
aged.
Gomez.
He is.
Yes,
He is.
he's aged well. I mean, he takes
Yeah.
care of himself. He keeps it
hmm
tight. I gotta say.
hmm
But he's aged. Come on. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, he doesn't
Yeah.
age. He's eternally youthful. I'm like, it's not that. Come on,
Nah.
guys. Look a little closer.
Ugh.
But Paul Rudd, you're looking great.
Mhm.
Good for you.
And who knows? Like, who knows? Maybe the her he's referring to could be something they all suspect to be happening, and that is completely off base as to what is actually going on.
hmm
Because they are really they have really bad instincts sometimes, especially at
Oh,
first.
yeah, very.
So who knows? I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I
But
think
I
that
have seen a lot of people speculating about Paul Rudd's character, Ben and Mabel, but I don't know.
I don't see it at all happening.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think that the her is going to be someone completely unrelated to the plot that has come into the fold somehow within the year, because we did jump a year ahead,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whack the mic. Yeah, so okay, so what do we think Meryl Streep's role is? She's an actor. It's pretty
Yeah.
She's an actor in Oliver's play. Anything more than that to predict?
I don't know. Maybe I
Meryl
wonder
Streep
if
is?
has she moved into the building? Like, is she playing Meryl Streep? Like, that's another
Yeah,
thing that I would be curious if he somehow landed Meryl Streep to be
because
in his play.
real people come into this
The
universe.
yeah, and the Arconia, like I could buy Meryl Streep living in the Arconia. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I
So,
think that would be an interesting way to
which
approach
apartments
it.
are available right now?
Oh,
Sting's
gosh.
apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Sting.
He's in
Now,
the penthouse, right?
Jan.
That was a penthouse one.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, Jan.
Oh, Jan. I really hope
I-
we get more Jan. Love Jan so much. And
Oh,
I
good
still
Lord.
I ship Jan and Charles.
Yeah.
Oh,
I still ship them.
I can't.
They should just be together. I love
Ugh.
Jan. I just want Amy Ryan in everything all the time.
Yeah.
I want her and
Amy
Steve Carell
Ryan,
in
I
everything
love.
all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like yelling at him when he was still answering her phone calls
Mhm.
from prison. I was like, man, this is not good for you.
No,
Don't do it.
no.
No, and it's so relatable. I'm like, damn, Charles, that was you. Hashtag I am
Sucked
Charles.
in.
Yeah, you picking up those phone calls and you like, I
Mhm.
shouldn't be doing this with this fucking bitch. Yeah, we all do things,
Oh, buddy.
People sometimes got us where it
Um,
hurts. Okay. And what about the fact that this murder does not happen in the building, y'all? This is an outside the building murder. What is happening?
Mm.
How do we feel?
It
I don't know
makes
what
me
this
wonder
means.
if there's another murder in the building.
Mm.
Wait, is he confirmed? Is this a confirmed kill at the end of season 2? I didn't even really realize,
mean,
even though we literally just watched the trailer. Like,
they
he dead,
are-
right?
Every article I have seen, every interview I've heard has approached it as if he is definitely dead.
Mhm.
So maybe
He
they're
looks
gonna have
pretty
to
dead.
change the name to their podcast. Like,
Only
sometimes
murders
outside
involving the
the
people that
building.
live in the building. That
Yeah.
involve the people in the
Where-
building. I'm hitting the mic now too.
Look at us all over the place. All right. And we still haven't heard who poisoned Winnie. And this bothers me
I
because
know.
it really felt like it was going to pay off in season 2. Do we think that the fact that we don't know who poisoned Winnie, and just like, I don't even think it was talked about all of season 2. I
Yeah.
haven't watched season 2 in a while, so I don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure we don't know who the fuck killed Winnie. I mean, who
Yeah.
Winnie is still alive. Who poisoned Winnie?
That should be a
So-
question that we'll table and pin so we can look and keep
Yeah.
Yeah.
our eyes out for some clues.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
Wait.
gonna come back in season 3.
Wait.
I'll be bummed if it didn't. if it
My
doesn't.
brain. Who is Winnie? Is Winnie the dog?
Winnie's Oliver's dog. Yeah.
I
Martin
thought we
Short's dog.
saw that just kind of like with Evelyn, that the dog ended up like, I can't remember. Or was that Evelyn?
I'm
got a hold
pretty
of some
sure
of the
that there's
blood?
again, I haven't watched season 2 in a while, but I'm pretty sure there's no definitive answer for
Okay.
who poisoned Winnie.
I'm gonna put that on my
sounds
to-do
right.
list to keep an eye out for.
Yeah.
See if
Now
we
I know
can-
what I'm doing the rest of today. I'm gonna get some bourbon and I'm gonna rewatch probably all of season 2.
Yeah, it's a
It'll be
good
good.
uplifting. It's uplifting. It really is.
You know what?
anything
Sometimes
anything is
murder
uplifting at this
shows
point.
are
Yeah.
comfortable. I know.
I
Oh,
really did
God.
though have to just like do this podcast. I was like, guys, no, we still have to record the podcast. We still have to record the season
We're
3
doing it
reaction
live.
video. Yeah, we're just doing it. And I'm like, we're doing it and we're gonna just mention the fact of what happened. It just
Murders,
and
get out that
it's helping
angst.
me though to not like, if we just had to end the Zoom meeting and walk away, I would like really be
True.
my balcony is looking real friendly right about now, like, just about
No.
high enough to make
Yeah.
things really just
And see,
better.
I only have a second floor. I just
Yeah.
break my ankle.
Kara just go over, just grab a rock and like whack her ankle. I need to feel pain. It's true though. It's like you need to feel pain after
I'm
something
gonna
like
I'm
this
gonna have to
Oh,
go
God.
deal with family in about maybe 10 minutes. So
Okay.
that's torture.
Oh, I
No,
know. So,
I love them. I love
Always
them.
fun.
Erica's like
Oh my
extending the
gosh.
podcast as long as she can. All right. Well, we did get a couple of listener feedback emails, which I would love to read. Okay. The first one, actually, let's play the voicemail first. We got a voice message from our patron.
Woohoo, Kimberly.
We need a name for our Patreon ladies group
I
or
know.
gentlemen, if a gentleman would like to join.
Yes, we would
If an
like them.
if a cat would like to join.
Cat. Yes.
Yes.
And then I just realized
Evelyn.
Evelyn.
Sevelin.
As I said, there are only ladies in our group, and then I said inviting gentlemen, and now I'm like, well, now, and I just realized I left out a whole bunch of other the umbrella of genders, and I'm like, now how do you say things like this anymore? You know, like you say things like ladies and gentlemen, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like legit.
Friends, folks.
You have to be so
friends.
careful.
Yeah.
And
Guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
Yes.
oh,
That's one
that's
of my
lovely.
favorites.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Or
just
just
say
y'all.
friends. Y'all, friends.
I
Y'all
always
You-
feel
works.
so I
or
always feel
Philly,
so lame.
use. That's you know,
Use.
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 I
Yeah,
love
no, I
that
always
so
just like to
much.
acknowledge when I make like slips like that, or when I just say things like absentmindedly like that. I always like to just make myself aware of it because yeah, awareness is key. All right, so let's play our voice message. All right, here she goes.
Hi, this is Kimberly Lipton. I just wanted to leave a message for Jade. I'm watching Dead to Us, well,
Oh,
Dead to Me, and I'm going to listen to the Dead to Us companion podcast for a little bit before bed. But I'm watching them dance and um, celebrate, I guess, Steve's life. But I just wanted
Oh.
to say I love your podcast, and I've enjoyed so much speaking with you. I think you're incredible, and I hope you
Oh,
don't think I am crazy. I just
do not.
really admire you, and it makes me much happier to work while listening to your voice. So,
Oh,
thanks
sweet.
for the in-depth information about all the shows, and tits up.
Tits
Tits up.
up,
tits up to you, Kimberly.
Kimberly. Oh my goodness. So Kimberly and I have been messaging back and forth and emailing and stuff. She's just becoming like an amazing new best friend. I just love it. I love how the show
Aw.
connects people, you know? I love our listeners. You guys are
Mhm.
the best. Kimberly, thank you. I'm so glad you're enjoying Dead to Me and Dead to Us. Anyone who hasn't
Such a
watched Dead to
good
Me,
show.
gotta watch it. It's
I
so
fell
good.
asleep. I started watching it again the other night because it's now like what the fifth time that I've seen it. So it's now my fall asleep show. It's just
Aw.
really nice to fall asleep
It's
to them in the
comforting.
background. Like
Yeah. It's you know why? Because the Dead to Me, even though Dead to Me is like heavy as a show, it's got some heavy like subject matter. It's gonna make you feel things, you know, it's gonna make you
there's
laugh
some
hard, but it's gonna make you feel
great
things.
levity.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, it's great levity. But there's something about that
Ugh.
world that makes you want to live in it. So the
Mhm.
you know, like it's the ambiance of the show when you put it on. I get what you mean when you say it's a good background
Yep.
show because
Well,
it's like
part of
it's
it to me is like
overwhelmingly
that California setting is drastically
yeah.
different from all the dirt I'm surrounded by in
Mhm.
West Texas. So that helps. It's nice and aesthetically pleasing, and I can pretend that I'm somewhere
Indeed.
else. Oh man.
Nice. Okay, so we have some listener feedback emails. Kara, take
Nice.
that first one.
Sure. Our first one is from Liz Todd. She says, Liz here. I have a question for Matilda, but first I must talk about your new partnership with Patreon. I joined. We love
Yay,
you.
Liz.
That's
Yay.
fantastic.
Thank you,
She
Liz.
said, what I love most about you three is the appreciation you have for us listeners. Aw. I had to laugh when you explained the bargain basement fee of $5 a month and even told us listeners to let you guys know if that's too much. Fucking coffee is more. It's true. Said, anyway, as soon as I send off this question for Matilda, I'm going into Facebook to join the Only Murders in the Building group. I'm really looking forward to it. Aw,
Yay.
Aw,
thank you so much.
thank you, Liz.
Let's see. It's like, I will save that Matilda question just in case we get to talk to her again.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was yeah, a great question. And yeah,
Yep.
we can't go there. Oh man, it's like every time you think I thought I was like starting to forget about it, then it's like I saw in her
It's
email
like,
that she
here's a
asked
little
We-
gut
Matilda
punch for
question.
you.
We need a miracle. We need a miracle.
Need a miracle. I need a
Oh.
hero.
Go.
I feel like
Okay.
this episode is slightly unhinged.
Yeah.
I can't even
It is.
talk anymore.
Mhm.
It's
Oh my
because I'm
God.
unhinged. Like I feel a little faint. I am not gonna lie. Like since
And it's-
moving, I'm whacking
and
the
it-
mic again.
It's not the middle of the night. It's midday on Sunday, but yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. And
I
as
feel
far as I
delirious.
know, none of us have had anything to drink. So,
Nope. Not
oh,
a drop.
Lord.
Just agua.
Anyway.
But you
Next.
know I'll make
Yeah.
things better.
Oh,
Hmm.
A message from Melanie Brown.
Yay,
No!
Melanie.
Yes. And there's a fun fact for me.
Nice.
So guess what, guys? Melanie is a Rocky Horror sister of mine. She did it in college. Isn't that
Yes.
amazing?
That's awesome.
Yes. My daughter's bio dad was actually our Brad, and she's my sister Magenta, just like me. She
Aw.
definitely inherited a bit of her parents' theatricality. But I need to know who Erica plays. Well, that's who I play. I play Magenta. Apologies if you already said it. I said it again just for you, or posted pictures. And I have been in tech hell for a show I'm doing.
Oh, no.
She's in tech hell. Oh my God, Melanie,
Yeah.
what show are you doing?
Yeah,
Love
I
you
want to
too,
know.
Melanie.
Did
Yeah,
she tell us? Remember, because she said
she might have.
Oh, I can't remember if she told us or not. Sorry, Melanie.
I feel
my
like it's a
brain is-
play. I feel like, was it a play,
Yeah.
not a musical?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a play.
And she just got back into it. And I think I was
Yeah.
like, I was
Right.
living with her because the last show I did that wasn't Rocky was Cabaret. And the only reason I did it
Mhm.
was because I did it before. And I'm like, I know this song, the song's backward and forwards. I can learn choreography really quick.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just want to do another show sometime soon. But Melanie, that's awesome. I want to see pictures and I'll share you some of mine.
Yes. Yeah. We need to share your pictures on
be good.
Instagram. Don't let me forget to do that. God
Okay.
For
damn.
sure.
Yeah. Just we won't tag my regular Muggle account.
That was something that was really on my list of things to do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll share you a picture with me with the original Magenta with Patricia Quinn.
Well,
Do you want to read those ratings that we got on
Yeah. Can you guys pull those up?
I'll go first. So, first review is from Two Mignards. It says, like deep dives, this pod is for you. And it is a 5-star rating. Thank you very much. And they said, when I first came across this pod and saw its length, I was like, wait, who in the hell could talk about and who possibly could listen to a pod episode that lasts 3 times the length of the actual TV episode? You are not the only one, I'll tell you that.
We've been told
But
a time
they
or
go
two.
on to say, well, put me on that list. This podcast delves deep into all the beautifully curated details, visual and storytelling, and the Easter eggs that the writers and creative teams gave us. Hoping for a rewatch pod starting back at the very beginning. Fingers crossed. Thank you. And I will say, if everybody that loves Maisel, I feel like you have to have an appreciation for the details. It's something that the show does so freaking well, and
Yeah.
we have to give them the attention they deserve.
right.
I think so.
I
But
do.
thank you for that review.
I always say to myself, like, I'm going to try to be short. I'll try to be shorter. Just if for nothing else to make it easier on myself to edit the damn thing,
Yeah.
like it's no picnic over here. But I can't help myself. Like that just shows how much I'm passionate about the shows that I podcast on, because
Mhm.
I would love to talk less, you guys. I would love to edit less. I hate all things technology. I hate it. I'm not a
Yeah.
technology person. It makes it very hard to podcast when you're not a technology person, but I do it anyway because that's how passionate I am. Damn it. You feeling me? Am I coming
Mic drop.
through?
Yep.
I did. If I did not value this mic like it was my fucking life, I would drop it like it's hot.
Mhm.
Anyway, okay. What?
That's
So we
funny.
have another 5-star review from
Go for it.
Crizzo, also known as Kimmy. and she wants to know about a rewatch date discussion. So we definitely want to do that. So any idea when we should start planning on rewatching? So excited that we get to relive MMM through your new eyes as well as other perspectives. Can't wait. So I guess we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, we got to
Absolutely.
talk about it more, but we also just need to get started on Only Murders in the Building.
Yes.
And then once we get into a rhythm with that, then we
Yep.
can go back to Maisel. But for now, it's like weird. Okay. This is something I wanted to talk about with tell the listeners and also like to discuss openly with you guys, because I do think that at first I was thinking we should do our rewatch of Maisel and cover Only Murders like simultaneously. But
Mhm.
I really do like to more like immerse myself in a
Mhm.
show. And I just feel like podcasting about two comedies too much that I'm so in love with, like it could just
Muddle a little bit.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to start saying things
Well, and
referencing
there are crossovers with the
Mhm.
actors. Like
right,
it could get, a little
Yeah.
right, yeah.
tricky.
So, I mean, it's not like the biggest deal in the world, and like I think that it could be done toward the end of like Only Murders, but there are 10
Mhm.
episodes for Only Murders, so I do kind of want to give myself a good 5 episodes to really get in that world and like put
Mhm.
Maisel like and then it will make me come back to Maisel and like refreshed.
Yep.
Mhm. It'll be a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and
And
on
Yeah.
top of that,
After
I
all
let's
want to
those
think
miss
murders.
I
too.
want to miss the show a little bit before I
Mhm.
do a rewatch on it.
Yes.
I want to, because
Mhm.
as a podcaster, you have to really obsess, and I really
Oh
obsess
yeah.
about these
Well,
shows
and
to
it gives
podcast
us
well about them.
time to listen to Kevin Pollak's episodes because that gives fresh insight
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
I think will be excellent to have going through a rewatch and being able to look at it through a new lens. So, and I'm with you. Like I want to be able to miss it a little bit first because I
Yeah.
rewatched it almost immediately after I finished it. And
Yeah.
I think I need a little bit of time before I can really dive back in and give it the attention that it deserves. Because
Yeah.
once we do, it's going to be all in, I feel like.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Just going back and like prepping for the Matilda episode, I was looking at, snippets of
Hmm.
episodes to get myself remembering Matilda moments, Zelda moments. And I'm like, man, I could easily sit here and just keep watching this shit because it
Hmm.
is such a good show.
So
Like when you
addictive.
stop watching Mrs. Maisel and you go watch something else, like all of a sudden when
Hmm.
you just go from watching Maisel to like other things, you're like, I'm always struck by like, man, this just isn't as good as Mrs. Maisel.
No,
Mhm.
it feels different.
It's a
It's
little
like
culture
a,
shock. You're
hmm.
like, wait,
Yeah, yeah.
well, yeah.
Oh, even actually, Only Murders in the Building was like the first thing I've really watched since Maisel that I felt
Yep.
like, okay, now we're back to that level.
Yep.
Mhm.
We're up. This is where our standards are for television viewing need to be,
Yep.
you know? So I'm excited to cover
Yeah.
Only Murders in the Building. I'm really
Hmm.
Me
excited.
too.
So yeah, listeners, we hear you about that rewatch. We want to do it too, but we also want to make it as good as it
Definitely.
possibly can be. So give us a moment while we
Yep.
and come along with us. Come along to Only Murders in the Building town.
That
The
is one
building.
thing I know. I don't know if, you know, I know we've said it before, but Perfectly Marvelous, there's a reason we want to cover both of these shows because we think they're in a similar vein in terms of the caliber of the actors, the directing, the costumes, the aesthetics. But genuinely, if you like Mrs. Maisel, I do not see how you will not like Only Murders in the Building. Yes, there's a little bit more gore because it involves murder, but not a ton. Like it is not
Mhm.
one of those shows that has gratuitous violence or anything like that. It's so enjoyable and it has that kind of magical theatrical element to it that Maisel does. So if you have not watched Only Murders and you're here just for Maisel content, I highly recommend it because I think within the first 2 or 3 episodes of season 1, you'll be hooked or you'll know it's not for you.
And it's only a 30-minute show. And I
Mhm.
remember when I watched it, I like binged like 4 episodes in a row. I was like, I can't believe I've never
It
watched this show
was
before.
really easy
I
to
was like,
go
what?
through.
I didn't. I jumped on late. I watched it the first
Yeah, me
season
too.
right before the second season started. I'm like, I
Mhm.
cannot believe I missed this the first
Yeah.
time.
That's exactly how I did it too. Yeah. I that's the whole thing I was thinking. I remember exactly where I was. I was staying at my parents' house and I had just
Mhm.
finished the last Agatha Christie like audiobook that I'd never read
Mhm.
before. I realized I had missed one and I got so excited. And then after that I was like, well, I really need something to fill the mystery, the mystery size hole in my being right now. Because
Mhm.
I just I could mystery all the time, guys. Like,
Yep.
anyone who's listened to my poker
That is
face
your
coverage,
genre.
it is
Yep.
my thing. I
Mhm.
never get tired of a mystery. I mean, it's all I
Mm-mm.
sit for me. That is the genre. That and like theater,
Mhm.
film genre. Theater on film, that genre,
Yep.
that one.
And like true crime is something, well, one,
I'm not a true crime person.
see, I have been obsessed since I think I was about 12 when my dad gave me the book Helter Skelter to
Yeah.
read, which I was already like, I read anything I could get my hands on. And I had already talked about wanting to be a lawyer. And Helter Skelter, is written by the prosecutor for the Manson family murders, one of the main prosecutors. And at that point, I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, I am all in. And
Mhm.
for some reason, like, there are a lot of people who are in criminal law that don't want anything to do with it when they are not working. And I am not that way. Like, I was burnt out, I think, for listeners that don't know, I was a prosecutor uh, for about 9 years before going into the area of law that I am now, which is family law and probate. And true crime is something that I still cannot get enough of. And I think, one, it's important to advocate for respectful and conscious consumption of true crime material.
Mhm.
But seeing this show with Steve Martin and Martin Short come
Mhm.
out, and it was about murder, I was like, I'm all in. I don't even have to know
I
anything
know.
else.
Yeah.
Like, this is
I'm
everything
so fucking in.
I love.
I'm so
Like,
fucking in.
it's so good. And I know that my mom and my dad are planning on giving it a chance.
Yeah, mine
So,
too. Get
Good.
out.
yep. Yep.
As soon
So I
they're
was like,
literally coming home. I literally was just texting with my mama. I said,
aw.
and seriously though, you need to freaking watch Only Murders in the Building. I am now
Mhm.
our Hulu is now ad free
Oh,
because if I'm
good.
podcasting about something, I can't have ads. So patrons, you're really I need a
You're supporting Jade's free ads. No
Mhm.
ads.
you really are. You're
Mhm.
paying for that Hulu, baby, so you can
Yeah.
have better
Ugh.
podcast with a not crazy. Because if I had to sit through a goddamn Hulu ad
Oh, they're the worst.
every time I wanted to rewind, because you rewind a lot, you
Yep.
gotta
Yep.
rewatch everything.
Mhm.
And I started to do it as I was going through my season one rewatch, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I can't
Mhm.
do this with the fucking ads, Hulu. This
Yep.
is a make it or break it. And I'm like, now I
Yep.
remember why I wanted to cancel you.
Mhm.
And now I remember why you suck because you always have a
Your
show.
ads are awful.
Ugh. But this
Your ads are
show
awful,
deserves
obnoxiously
more
awful.
attention than it
Mhm.
gets. And I
Mhm.
think now that
Yes.
you've got Paul Rudd coming on and Meryl Streep,
Oh,
there
they
will
got the
be
streep. They got the
new
streep action.
people. Yeah, like
They're making a
I'm so
statement.
excited.
Yes.
Now I'm giddy. I
Mhm.
feel better
Mhm.
now. It'll be
I
so
know. I
much
just got a
fun.
little giddy too. I did. I did.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Yeah.
gonna work out. We're gonna be okay.
It's
We're
gonna be
all gonna
okay.
be okay, guys. We're gonna
Mhm.
figure shit out. Yeah. It'll be good.
Oh,
It'll be good. I'm not worried. Do I look
mm-mm.
worried? 'Cause I'm not. All right.
Never.
We got one more email. Kara, will you read that one? I just put it in
Sure.
the agenda.
This is from Liz, and she said, I meant to tell you something that hit me funny in your listener feedback marathon episode. I like that. Our marathon
It
episode.
was.
It was.
What episode isn't a fucking marathon
Yeah.
with us?
One of the
Look at this. This was
comments,
supposed to be an hour long video. This is going to be like over an
we're
hour
still
already. What the
we're
fuck?
still under an hour right now. It's
Are
fine.
we?
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Kind of.
This was supposed to be like a 10-minute video.
Oh my God.
Oh, how, the naivete that we
It's
have in our
fine.
brains.
Oh gosh. But she said one of the comments you read was from Bikes Are Dangerous, LOL. I wish I knew their backstory. I know you probably can't ask though. My accident was on fucking Mother's Day. Oh, that's
Uh-oh.
awful.
I know.
I was on the Roanoke Greenway, which is mostly along the river and really nice with views of the Blue Ridge Mountains. I normally don't ride it on weekends because it's amateur hours. So on Mother's Day, it was extra busy with families, dogs, wagons, coolers, and now those fucking electric bikes. I like you, Liz.
I know.
She said, anyway, an adorable family was walking side by side, taking up all of the wide concrete. I had already slowed for them and yelled, "On your left." All runners and regular walkers know what that means. True. This group of rookies were clueless. They moved right and left, obviously didn't know how a retractable dog leash works, and left their toddler to fend for himself. Oh, good Lord. To avoid taking out the little guy, and again, I'm now going quite slow, I had to turn off the greenway, and due to my reduced speed, lost control of my bike.
Oh no.
Most of my injuries are because, excuse me, I was clipped in and didn't release correctly. No one in the family was injured, including the toddler and dog. So really, I'm a hero.
Yes, you are, Liz.
You
Oh my
really
God.
are.
I love that. Oh, I'm
Anywho.
sorry you got hurt though. Anywho,
Yeah. Oh
if
my.
you hear from Bikes Are Dangerous again, please ask if they happen to be on the Roanoke Greenway on Mother's Day. LOL.
Oh, poor Liz.
Oh, that's funny. Said I fucking love you three. Also, sorry this is so long. It has to be long, Liz, or else it
Liz,
just
it has to
doesn't
be.
work with the
We fucking love
podcast.
you too, Liz.
Yeah.
We do.
Who said your new friend and Greenway hero, Liz.
Liz.
All the applause, all the stardust
Yep.
for you, Liz.
You fit right in, Liz.
You
Come
fit
aboard.
right in, babe. I have no words. This is like, I just need like us to, Liz, I need you to write us emails. Write us emails about things that happened to you in your life, because I'm sure that you could make even the most mundane occurrence sound hilarious and like epic. So I need you to write down things that you do in your day, send them to us, and we will read them on a podcast, and it'll be hilarious.
Well, yeah, but now you have to sign off as Greenway hero every time. So
Liz
so
with
you
4
know.
Z's.
Yep. Liz,
So bikes are dangerous. If you're out there listening,
let us
question
know.
on the table. Question to you.
I mean, they are. They can be. So
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Oh, geez.
All right. So real quick, guys, I got a shameless plug. Shall we compare the my
Woohoo.
Peter Pan episode has been released.
Woohoo.
And I am like an impatient one, there's like a part on Only Murders when they were looking at their first podcast episode and they were like, how many listens do we have? And they're like, 4. Is that good? No. And I'm like, that's how I feel every time I see how many downloads I have on Shall We Compare Thee? Like, no one's listening to my podcast yet.
I'm
And
one of them.
I'm just a little like, so please listen.
I'm going to download the Peter Pan one right now.
It is
Please.
good. I will say I listened to the Psycho one and the Peter Pan one, and I really enjoyed both of them. Like, it made me want to watch those Peter Pan movies that I have not seen. So you're doing something right.
If you
Obviously.
did not feel the urge to watch Mary Martin after, how much of an urge did you feel to watch Mary Martin
yeah.
after hearing me talk about Mary Martin? Because I am fucking
I rented
passionate
it immediately. It was 10 o'clock at night and I needed to go to sleep. But I was just like,
but
now
there's
I have to
something I need to
watch
do
it.
first, and that is rent Mary Martin's
Mhm.
goddamn Peter Pan.
Yep. And it was, it was,
Yeah.
I went into work the next day and nobody wanted to hear me talk about it, but they had to. So it's
As they
fine.
should. Yeah, listeners, so if you want to listen to Jade talk a lot about how much she fucking loves the Mary Martin Peter Pan, please listen to my podcast. I got a Psycho episode too. It's an okay time. And I do a lot of really in-depth work on it. So please like it and listen to it. Or just listen to it. You don't have to like it. Just, give it a listen. Give it a try. I know I need to be patient, but I'm afraid people won't listen. Okay. So
Patience is
anyway.
hard.
Yeah. It's a new
Mhm.
podcast. We're just a little baby, fresh into the world. It'll be there soon. All right. So yes, anyway, thank you listeners for being fucking perfectly marvelous and for leaving us your feedback. As always, we cannot tell you how much we appreciate your support. We love you, patrons. You are what's keeping us going right now. Truly.
Mhm.
I
That's
would not
true.
we would not be well if we were not recording this episode right now.
Especially
Yes.
today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
You're literally saving lives,
Oh,
listeners,
yes.
doing God's work.
Mhm.
And remember to please send us your feedback. Feedback? That's good.
Feedback.
Feedback for Only Murders in the Building season 1, because after our recap, we're going to do a separate listener feedback video episode.
And then
So-
we'll do a separate listener feedback episode
Yeah.
as well. So stay tuned.
Why not both?
That'll be a real special one. That's after we
Oh,
have
God.
the tequila. The feedback.
Tequila. I'm gonna need tequila, especially anyway. So follow us on Instagram or Facebook, which is where we put up listener feedback posts where you can write us or send in one of Jade's favorite things, a voice message.
Oh my
to
God. Voice messages.
perfectly marvelous podcast at gmail.com. And I will say, if you have suggestions on what our listeners should be called, I want to hear those
Yes.
too.
Mhm, please
Well,
send
For
them.
sure.
My Patreon ladies, what do you want to be called, y'all? Have a meeting.
Yep.
Talk about it. Get on those message boards. No, just come into no, I know where you go. You go to our Facebook group.
Yep.
Yep.
All my Patreon
We can
ladies.
have a poll.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, we should
How about a contest?
You know what I kind of want to do? I kind of
like
want to
it.
make like a whole separate Patreon Facebook group for
I
like
think
the
that should be
super
one of our perks. You get
exclusive.
access to an exclusive,
Mhm.
Yes, you guys, listeners, do you want to have a Facebook group with us where we get to talk about like our reactions and hot takes that we don't things we don't say on the podcast?
and maybe we
Ooh.
can share memes that we might not want to put on public groups sometimes.
Perfectly
Yes,
marvelous
okay.
after dark.
Man, I'm such an old lady. Like, I just don't think of these things. I'm like, we could have a Facebook group for everything. Like, how did I not think of this? Yes. Patreon Facebook group. It's going to be started. And then you can tell us what you want to be called.
Mhm.
I'm like, have a meeting.
Discuss amongst yourselves.
I'll give you a
Oh,
topic.
goodness.
You figure it out. Ain't my problem. Listeners, I love you.
Oh, God.
I hope you love us too. Oh, man. Oh, okay. There we are. We're at the
Yep.
end. Ladies,
Ladies.
bring it in. Bring it in. Let's have a really big virtual hug right now because
Mhm.
I have had a marvelous time talking with you. It was a great
Yep.
interview, guys. It was.
It
And
really
it
was.
and it hopefully we'll have another one with Matilda. Hopefully we will. Hopefully. Or maybe I can salvage the audio. I probably won't.
I'm
It's
just gonna keep my fingers crossed.
keep the fingers crossed. Listeners, say a prayer, please. Whatever you do. All of the spiritual well wishes our way, please.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, my lovely listeners, for joining us. We love you.
And come back next week, hopefully next week, for our season 1 recap of Only Murders in the Building, which will also be available on our Patreon as a video.
Ooh, how can you resist it? So
Yay.
yes, get your Omit B rewatch on and send us your thoughts. Don't forget. Don't forget.
Mhm. And on that note, I'm Kara.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Jade. Thank you and good night.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you and good night.